Welcome to the Dumb Idea Podcast with Mike and Alex. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video or podcast on any platform that you're listening on. Please visit us at www.dumbideapodcast.com. All right, welcome back. Doing another show. We're going to do football in this one. NFL. We haven't talked NFL other than like a little blurb I think we did.
Yeah, I think when we did the Barry Melrose,
yeah,
because we were so stoked about the new the
hockey
music, but
I think I did a little bit on fantasy football on the solo episode,
right?
Which I think all of my predictions are wrong. I think I ended up wrong.
Whoever put money on that one,
yeah. Which, by the way, we can get into sports betting later on in this too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were like, you and I were having conversations just about the NFL in general, and we were like, we haven't talked about football. Like, you and I had not really talked football I think we're on episode 35.
Yeah,
and we haven't done any of it. And the funny part was, when we first started this,
yeah,
we thought we were going to talk football.
No, we figured
once a month at least.
Yeah, we figured it would be mostly football.
Yeah,
and then maybe some current events thrown in there, and it's kind of been the opposite. But
so basically, what we're saying is, if no one likes this episode, screw you guys. This is what we actually started a podcast to do,
right? But hey, whatever. But it's been a weird NFL season to me. There were a bunch of teams. So I figured that you'd have someone clearly out in top, maybe two teams. Because my son asked me the other day, who's going to the football, Dad, or the Super Bowl, Dad? He's like, I don't know. And it's hard to say.
Nobody knows right now.
And usually by this point in the season, you can kind of see who the front runners are. If you would ask me in week 4, I probably said, hey, Baltimore has a good shot. They have to get past Kansas City. But Kansas City's not impressive. Baltimore's not impressive, especially as of late. They really haven't been. The Ravens always seem to bring it in the end of the end of the game. They're giving me a heart attack.
Definitely.
So, guys, if you're listening, could you not do that? You can win the game in the first quarter.
Yeah, it'd be great. Thanks. Save me some heart palpitations.
It was nice when we were still doing fall ball because, they were losing. I'd be like, whatever. And I'd come home and put the fourth quarter and be like, oh, look at this.
Right.
So that's when I saw the GOAT kick the greatest field goal of all time.
That's right.
So, but I missed that entire game except for the important part, which was at the very end. So, but yeah, when you look at the NFL standings, I mean, it's not. Well, on the NFC side, you have the Cardinals, who are kind of running away with that at 9-2. But I haven't really looked at their strength of their schedule and who they've been playing so far.
They might even be better than that because Kyler Murray has had a little bit of injury issues lately.
Yeah,
I think if he doesn't get injured, I don't think they lose at least one of those. J.J. Watt going out. Everyone's like, oh, J.J. Watt's over the hill. There's something about a J.J. Watt brings a different kind of attitude to the defense, and I think they're probably going to have to refine their inner J.J. Watt on that defense, but I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. But J.J. Watt limits just the threat of J.J. Watt limits somewhat because you always have to be mindful of that presence.
Right.
So when he's not there, that you can get away with some different blocking schemes because you don't have to double team him. You don't have to ensure that certain players are on him or get a playoff in time. It gives you more time and more freedom when he's not there. So it's just that factor, that X factor. And the thing is, whether dude's running it at his 5 years ago rate or now, plus you also have the intangibles of the leadership and experience that he brings.
Yeah. But in that division, though, you got the Rams, who I don't think everyone. I don't think people thought they were going to be as good as they were right off the bat. They've had a little bit of a stumbling block. They've lost their last two, but I mean Matthew Stafford seems to be the right quarterback in that system.
Yeah.
San Fran's at 5-5 in that division. Seattle of all teams at 3-7, but that's because their defense is god awful.
Right. Which is crazy because that's what they were known for.
Used to be the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
But then I mean the Legion of Boom is nowhere near there now. So
No.
I mean,
is anyone left from that?
I don't think so.
I mean, Sherman's playing for the damn 49ers, or he was.
No, he's with Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, he got released by the Niners, I think.
Okay,
and
yep.
then he got picked up by Tampa Bay. Talk about another surprise. Tampa Bay 6-3. I actually thought they would have been closer to. I actually thought they would probably be 8-1 right now.
Yeah, the loss to the Redskins was kind of surprising. Well, sorry, Washington football team.
Yes.
That was now. I'm not a Washington football team fan, but I don't hate them anymore. So it's kind of. So I was a Redskins fan at one point, but we divorced. It was a messy divorce, but now like I don't hate my ex anymore.
They lost to New Orleans too, though. So they lost to Washington and New Orleans in back-to-back weeks. Now look, they're up on the Giants 30-10 as we speak. So if you didn't know, we're recording this on Monday night.
Yeah.
So they're going to go back to their winning ways. They're going to be 7-3, but New Orleans is just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Washington is playing with a no-name quarterback.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, Chase Young just is out for the year, I think, now.
Mm.
It's like, how do you lose those two games? But then I'm looking at their schedule. So they beat Dallas by 2. Atlanta, who's not very good, by about 20. Lost to the Rams. Beat New England by 2. Crushed Miami, who sucks. Beat Philadelphia by 6, who's mediocre. And then Chicago, who's awful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they didn't really have a great win. And they got some pretty bad losses there. I mean, Dallas is probably their only good win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess New England is too. We'll talk about them in a minute. But so maybe they're just not as good as we thought they were. But at the same time, that was a team that I think they started 4-6 last year, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Well,
so,
see, and that's the thing. Like I'll never forget when Brady played for the Patriots, and every single year they'd come out and they'd kind of stumble out of the block.
Yep.
And people would say, the Patriots are done. They're done. They're over. The Magic's done. And then they'd win a Super Bowl.
Right.
So maybe that's a Brady thing. Maybe it takes him a while to get that engine running. I don't know. He's older, you know. Before we started, I saw him run the ball.
He's using that synthetic oil now.
Yeah. Was that the mobile for old engines or whatever?
Whatever that TB12 oil is. He's got that working.
But yeah, so that's the NFC. The AFC is kind of just the best record there is the Titans at 8-3, but they just lost Henry, so who knows what's going to happen there.
I think they'll be okay. I mean, as much as I make fun of Ryan Tannehill,
Mm-hmm.
at this point, his third season in Tennessee, he's proven to be more than just serviceable.
Yeah,
as far as a passer goes. Now people can say, well, that's because he had Derrick Henry. Yeah, but he's also, I mean, A.J. Brown's legit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a ton of weapons on offense, but whatever they got going, I mean, and their pass defense is awful for whatever reason. I mean, you figure Mike Vrabel's there, coming from New England. That defense should be better than it is. But they also play in kind of a weak division. I mean, they're playing in that NFC South.
right.
Or AFC South. Jacksonville, who's a crap show.
Yep.
Houston's god awful.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Indianapolis. Now, Indianapolis, that's a weird team to me.
Yeah.
6-5, won the last 3. Jonathan Taylor balling out as a running back. Michael Pittman's coming on strong as a wide receiver, showing himself to be partially a number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Carson Wentz isn't hurt yet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I got a feeling. So that trade with Philadelphia, Indianapolis has to give up a first rounder or maybe two if he plays a certain number of snaps, I will die laughing if he breaks the threshold for snaps
and then gets hurt.
And gets hurt immediately.
Like just completely like catches on fire.
Yeah. I have Indianapolis kind of knew what they were doing, but because they put that in there, they knew this guy had never really gotten through a whole season injury free. And I'm probably thinking in the back of their mind, they're like, there's no shot he stays healthy. So let's get him, minimize our investment in him. He won't stay healthy. We won't have to give up the first round pick. And they're going to have to give up the first round pick. He's going to stay healthy just long enough.
Yeah.
And then he's going to break like his tailbone.
Right. No,
He's going to break something obscure.
Turf toe.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's like when you get a car. Like the second the warranty expires, something major happens.
Yeah.
So,
but Indy's defense is actually not bad. They got DeForest Buckner up front who can really get to the quarterback. I don't think that division's settled. I think the bottom two are out. I mean, Houston's just really bad.
Well, I mean, you're at 2-8. You're done.
Yeah.
You're not. I mean,
in Jacksonville, you got Urban Meyer dancing with 20-year-olds and whatever else is going on over there. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just kind of gross when you're 65.
Yeah. It's just a creeper.
And then you got
I feel weird going to the bar, and I'm not 60.
I step into the bar and I just like want to throw up because I'm in there. Like I'm throwing up about me being in there, right? It's like I shouldn't be here, which is why I don't go. My wife's like, let's go out to a bar. No, let's not go out to a bar. I don't like. I go in there like even like down the road, like if I go to a Laughlin's, like if I sit at the bar, I feel gross.
Yeah,
like I need to sit at a table.
Yeah, I like a table. I don't like eating at the bar. No. I don't like sitting there.
I don't want anything. I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah,
I'll sit at. Let me sit at a table. You got a table?
Now during COVID, remember when they had the tables like against the bar, the T shape?
I like that.
That was pretty cool.
I wish they would go back to that.
Yeah,
this isn't like the old 20 speakeasy shit where I need to post up at the bar.
Right.
No, I want to sit down. I'm old and curmudgeonly.
Yeah. The only time I'm happy, like I don't mind sitting like at a bar like that, like just bellied up to the bar, is if I know the bartender. If I know the bartender, I'm just hanging out with my buddy who happens to be tending bar,
right,
and hooking me up.
See me, I want to go even further. I want lounges. Like I want a couch.
You want like the bottle service?
Like I almost
like the club.
No, I don't want that. I want to I just want somewhere where it's comfortable to sit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like, look, I'm coming here, especially if I'm just going for a drink. Like, if I'm going to eat, like, I need to sit up against a table. Like, I want to be upright. But if I'm sitting there, we're going to have some drinks or whatever. Fuck, give me a comfortable chair.
Yeah.
A couch. Mm-hmm. You know, and cut the chatter down. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I don't like watching. If it's a game I want to see, I don't want to watch it at a bar. No. Because I'm not going to watch it. I'm distracted. No. Hey, let's go to such and such and watch the Caps. No.
Never mind the fact. The resolution from DirecTV, which is what all the bars use.
Yeah, it's shit.
Awful. Like, no, I'll come home and I'm going to watch it on my HD TV in HD.
Yeah.
Where it's clear. And oh, by the way, I'm going to sit on my comfortable couch with some good snacks and beer that I want.
Right. And it didn't cost me $80. It cost me $18, and it's the same crappy Miller Lite I would have drank anywhere else. But I prefer it out of an aluminum can over a glass bottle or on tap anyway.
As I said, when I rearrange this basement, we're doing hockey nights back again.
Yeah, let's do it. Hopefully the Capitals are giving us something new. Different show. But yeah, and then if you look at back to football.
Where were we on the AFC North?
AFC North, yeah.
So you want to do that one last because that's like our area.
Yeah, let's say keep people listening.
So we'll go AFC West. I think Kansas. You were talking about Kansas City's a surprise because we thought they would be better.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like preseason, I thought because the Ravens, based upon what they did last year, I thought if it wasn't for Kansas City, we'd have a legit shot at going deep into the playoffs. But now the New England monster was replaced by the Kansas City monster.
Yeah,
but then. They're sitting at what, 7-4?
7-4, and they've won their last 4.
Yeah,
which is surprising because I'll be honest with you. If you would have told me before I just looked at it that they won their last 4, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah,
I thought they would have lost at least two of the last 4, but they're winning. I mean, The thing is, though, the difference this year is they don't seem invulnerable.
Right.
They seem beatable. And then behind them, you got Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah.
I can't get behind the Chargers being a Super Bowl contender because even when they had Phillip Rivers, they were always either like the last team in the playoffs and out.
Yeah. Or when they had Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right, and Junior Seau.
Yeah.
Didn't they went to a Super Bowl one year
And lost.
but that was before Phillip Rivers. That was with Drew Brees, wasn't it?
It may have been before that.
Oh, John Freeze.
Yeah.
Ooh, what? And I don't know why I know this many San Diego quarterback names.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing that pisses me off.
You just gave me the look like, why do you know
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then another thing that pisses me off about the Chargers. Why are they the LA Chargers? LA's not a football town.
No.
They couldn't support one team. The Raiders were there, gone. Who else was there? The Rams.
Yep.
And then they left, and now they're back. And then the Chargers decide to move there. If you have your choice of SoCal cities, San Diego, hands down, over LA.
Yeah, I don't. I guess it came down to like the stadium.
Yeah.
And like San Diego wouldn't give them a stadium or the stadium that they wanted.
Right.
Or the land or whatever it was.
Which to me, when it comes to these professional football teams, it's the biggest waste of municipal money is to buy these rich assholes stadiums.
Right.
Now, is M&T Bank Stadium a nice place to watch a football game? Sure. You know it's a better place to watch a football game? My living room.
Yep.
So, like...
Exactly. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, I don't, like... And then you're going to go and say, oh, well, it creates jobs.
Does it?
What kind of jobs is it creating? So, you've got the construction jobs, which are temporary.
Yep.
Then you've got the low-paying jobs in the stadium. Selling beer or parking or whatever it is.
Sure. Seasonal jobs too.
Yeah, it's football season short. I mean, so for 8 work days, let's include preseason. 10 work days, and I'm not going to throw a playoff game in because a home playoff game is, a rarity.
Right.
I mean, just if you look at the numbers.
Yep.
So we're spending all this money, and then they give them tax shelters for like 20 years.
Right.
Or sweetheart deals on leasing the land. Like, oh, we're going to sell you the land for $1, in a downtown city. Like, come on. No, I can't stand it. So, and Maryland built 2 of them. They have FedEx and M&T Bank.
Yeah. The other side of that is sometimes they'll do it as part of like a revitalization project.
Yeah.
Like with Camden Yards, it was part of the Inner Harbor revitalization,
Yes.
right? M&T Bank is like right next door to it.
Yeah. Well, they share parking lots.
Right. And before that, though, it was Memorial Stadium, which was like Northwest Baltimore, I think.
The place was a dump.
Right. So for them to move it down made sense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm with you. It's like I don't think that they should be taxpayer funded at all, especially because all of the additional revenue goes to the team, not the city.
Right.
So like concession money, team.
Yeah.
PSL money, team.
TV money.
TV money, like everything.
Yeah.
Team.
Yeah.
Like the city, I mean, I get it. Look, you're putting the 60, 70,000 people into the city on game day.
Right.
They're expecting, after people get out of the game, they're going to go to the pub next door, the restaurants, and they're going to make it up with the sales and use tax. Okay, I could see some benefits there, but do you get the benefit of what you're giving up, which is the tax revenue and the concessions revenue that they used to get? Like back when Memorial Stadium, the city got the concession revenue.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
Right. Well, and it's just, but then to have them go 30 years later and turn around and say, okay, we want another one now.
Right.
I think the lease on so FedEx Field, I want to say either the state or the county owns the land that the stadium sits on. They leased it. So that stadium, that's up in 2025. Now that stadium it's showing its age. If you think, but they all want to keep up with the Joneses, literally Jerry Jones.
Right.
So they all want to build Jerry World somewhere.
But didn't Jerry buy that land though?
Yeah.
Like, that was his land.
Mm-hmm.
Now he might have gotten money to help with the stadium.
Yeah.
Although I think Jerry did put up a lot of his money though. Jerry wanted the stadium, but he wanted the ancillary income from around the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So that what they're doing is they're building. And Stan Kroenke out in L.A., the guy, the Rams owner, that's one of the reasons why he went out to L.A. Because he wanted the land, and he's building everything around the stadium. And it's all his.
Yeah.
He owns that land. That means he owns all the buildings he's putting up. So the pregame, the postgame, and they're getting people to go on non-game days.
Yeah.
And that's what they're looking to do. So Dan Snyder, I think, is probably going to look to do the same thing.
But in between, like, killing puppy dogs.
Yes. And harassing women.
And drinking blood.
And releasing John Gruden's emails. Yes. I'm sure. I think that, because Dan is Jerry Jones Jr. Let's face facts. I mean,
except at least Jerry Jones knows a little bit about football. Dan is a fan. He runs that team like it's a fantasy team.
Yes.
Like, my fantasy team is run better.
Yes.
than that NFL franchise.
But I think that's what Snyder ends up doing. He either goes to Virginia or Maryland and says, okay.
Well, DC, he did change the name. So I know the district had passed some resolution or something that, that the Redskins were an offensive name, this and that, which is amusing because if you look at, like, if you go to football teams on Native American, like on reservations, they wear that's like their high school football team's logos. Mm-hmm. Them, the Chiefs, they wear Redskins, T-shirts and stuff to say, hey, this is who I am. But it's, the wokesters don't like it. So
I wonder if they're just going to keep it the Washington football team. I actually think it's unique. In a league with, that has a city name mascot.
Yeah.
Washington football team. It's very soccer-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if people are for or against that, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people roll their eyes at it still, but
yeah.
It's something in a league where everything's copycat. That's different.
Yeah.
So maybe just keep it.
WFT.
Yeah.
They call it
the WTF. Seriously, I think if you could rename that thing Washington Team Football, and your name was and you just like your team sweatshirts just said WTF on it, gold mine.
Oh yeah, I would just call them the Tangos. Right. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Listen, there's so many marketing opportunities. Like, if he's not jumping on that,
we said it here first.
We did. Can we copyright any of this stuff?
I just want 1% of the everything sold. Just 1%. It's not a big ask.
Like, that would be the best marketing scheme ever. WTF? Yeah, Washington Team Football.
As opposed to Washington individual football.
Right. Didn't you know?
Yeah, and it's weird when you talk about stadiums, how as opposed I am to the football stadiums being built, and baseball to a certain extent too, even though I like baseball more. But I'm not as against it when they build arenas like, well, I guess it's called Capital One Arena now.
There's more use for
because they can be used year round.
Yeah. Concerts
usually. So pretty much every city that has a basketball and hockey team, both teams play in it.
Yep.
And then there's concerts throughout. And then at Verizon, damn it, the Capital One Arena.
That's still Verizon Center to me.
Yeah. Georgetown plays there. Mm-hmm. So there's stuff, and I think the DC high school championships are held there. So there's a lot of stuff going on at those buildings that really get a lot more use than 10 games a year, maybe a concert thrown in. But in the Northeast, like where we are, you can't have outdoor concerts in between essentially now and April.
No, you do in the summertime though, when football's not being played.
Yeah.
But even that, I mean, I think me personally though, I think an outdoor concert sucks.
Mm.
especially when the venue's that big. Because think about it: if you're in the upper deck and they're putting the band or the act at the 50-yard line, you can't see that.
No, it's a better place to watch it. My living room.
My living room. Everything's better for my living room. And most of the times they're live streaming these things.
Yeah,
The concerts now, so you can generally see it.
yeah,
And probably for like $15 versus $115.
yep.
Like there was you remember the old group Genesis? Mm-hmm. Like with Phil Collins?
He was the drummer.
Yeah. I think the drummer and singer?
Yeah,
He sang in that group.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those tickets, not even a relevant group to this day, or in this day, I think it was $150 per ticket.
no thanks.
Per ticket.
Yeah,
Like, dude, are you kidding me? $150.
yeah.
Now look, people pay it and they go, and I get that, but can we live stream this for $10?
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to talk to or look at disgusting people that are there sweating, gross, reliving their glory days. No thanks. All right, football. Back to football.
Yeah. So we were still on the
We did the NFC West. By the way, Kansas City not as good as we thought. Chargers, kind of the middle. Vegas is what they are, 5-5. Although
I actually thought Vegas would be better.
I did too.
And I don't like them moving to Vegas, but whatever.
It kind of fits. The Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Casino. I mean, the Golden Knights kind of started, they did really well there. And they have, a great fan base. It also helped that they went to the finals their first year in existence.
Didn't hurt. Denver at 5-5 surprises me. I thought they would have been I thought they would have been in New York Jets territory, like 2-8. Especially after trading Von Miller.
Yeah. See, the thing is with the Raiders, I really like their quarterback, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Derek Carr.
Yes. I thought a couple years ago that they were going to be, because they had Carter, they had a great offensive line, and then they had two running backs who were pretty good. And I thought they'd be, and then the next year they stunk it up. Carr was hurt the entire time. It was bad. And then you go to this year, I thought, okay, maybe they're coming out of that. And I don't think the Bob Gruden thing helped anything. When did they lose him? Week 4?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
And they've lost 3.
Yeah.
They're on a 3-game losing streak right now.
Yeah, so
the running back they have there now is Josh Jacobs, who's actually really good. Mm-hmm. By the way, if you're a running back and you want to go to the NFL, just go to Alabama. It doesn't matter if you start or not. I think literally the last 10 running backs they've had, first and second string, are all in the NFL right now. Most of them are starting. So even if you don't start at Alabama, just go to Alabama. You'll go to the NFL.
Yeah.
I think Vegas could make a run. I think the Chargers are just too good to be 6-4. Mm-hmm. I think the Chargers and Chiefs probably snag 2 of those playoff spots. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to name 4 teams. You tell me which one you think misses the playoffs. Tennessee, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Cincinnati. I'm going to throw Pittsburgh in there and Cleveland. I'll throw all the AFC North in there because they're all over 500. Kansas City, LA, Las Vegas, New England, Buffalo.
Misses the playoffs?
I mean, there's only, 6 playoff spots?
Yeah.
Or are there 8 now?
So
I think 6, right?
Yeah. Because you have the division champions and the 2 wild cards.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna say, that's a hard one. Indianapolis, no. Pittsburgh, no. But they always find a way. They always seem to find a way with that tub of shit Roethlisberger.
I think that offense is so bad right now.
Roethlisberger looks like me standing right there.
Yes, he does not look
dude,
good.
It's like, hey, you're a left tackle. Get up on the
right.
Get up on the line, dude. Let's see. What were the other ones?
Cleveland.
I think they're out. Yeah.
I think Cincy gets in.
Yeah. You know what? They beat our Ravens. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of worried about the Ravens, to be honest with you. So I think if Baltimore gets in, it's on a wild card. I don't see them winning that division.
I think they end up winning the division just because I think for whatever Lamar just seems to know how to win.
Yeah.
Look, I know they're
Lamar
not winning convincingly, but they're winning.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. So
I think they win it. I think they get to 12-3 at least.
I think the loss to the stupid Dolphins kind of rattled my cage a little bit.
That shocked everybody. The Dolphins.
Yeah.
Although the Dolphins defense looked unreal.
Yeah.
Like they look like a different defense.
Like they brought it.
Yeah.
They brought their A game.
I mean, Miami's 4-7. They're not. I mean, they've won their last 3.
Yeah.
So they're on the upswing. If they keep that defense rolling, Miami could cause a lot of problems for some people. Their offense is absolute garbage. But that defense, which makes sense. I mean, Brian Flores is the head coach there. He came from Miami, or he came from New England. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense if he can eventually turn that around. But I mean, I'm not saying Miami's going to make the playoffs because I don't think Tua is the quarterback of the future there. I think they need a quarterback.
No.
But I think they cause enough issues down the stretch, and I don't think that loss will look as bad as it does now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. So I guess we got where are we on now? The East, AFC East.
Well, if we were picking playoff teams,
okay.
I mean, I think between New England and Buffalo, I think one of them gets in.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City and the Chargers get in. I think Baltimore and Cincinnati gets in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tennessee gets in.
Okay.
I think Indianapolis is out.
Yeah, Indy's
Pittsburgh,
out.
Cleveland out. Vegas and Denver are out. And Miami's out.
Okay.
Everyone else is not even in the conversation.
The Jets?
Jets.
Suck.
That's right. But, I mean, going with the AFC East, I think the surprise there is New England.
Yes.
No one would have thought they would have been 7-4. Now with a rookie quarterback, I still don't think that offense is good.
Did Cam Newton play at all with them this year?
Did he play the first game?
Because he's back in Carolina now, which is just weird.
He played pretty well though.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see.
But see, Cam's he was one of those running quarterbacks, and they get banged up, and then once they lose that ability to run,
he didn't play week 1.
Yeah.
The Dolphins actually beat the Patriots week 1, 17-16.
Yeah.
See, did he play the next week?
Nope. See, I thought the Bills would be better.
I did too. I'm surprised they're at 6-4.
Yeah. The Dolphins garbage. But New England always finds a way. They always find a way. So
they were bad last year.
Yeah.
Though.
They didn't even make the playoffs last year. Did
No.
They? Yeah. The Jets. So
Joe Flacco.
I like Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's with the Jets.
He was with the Jets last year too.
Was it?
Yeah.
He started with Philadelphia this year, and he got traded back to the Jets, I think. That guy, he must really need the cash.
Yeah. But
come on, Joe, hang him up already.
But see, Joe Flacco's from Southern New Jersey.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his hometown team. But the Jets, Jets fans remind me so much of Washington fans. Every year they think they're great. I know a lot of Jet fans because my wife's from Long Island. Jets fans are obnoxious. They have sucked for, 10 years now at least? When was the last time the Jets went to the playoffs? Yeah.
Well, Mark Sanchez years.
Okay.
With Rex Ryan.
Right.
They went 2 years in a row, I think.
The butt fumble.
That's what. Isn't that sad? Like the last time the Jets went to the playoffs, the only reason why people remember it is because of the butt fumble.
Butt fumble. But
by the way, butt fumble, just as fun to say as penis rocket. So.
Got that in.
Just getting my penis rocket in.
But the Jets are so they suck every year, but every year their fans think they're going to do something. Like, why would you think? It's almost like their fans are in an abusive relationship with the Jets.
Who do you think's got it worse? The Jets or the Lions fans?
Ooh. So, but see, the Lions were actually decent for a couple of years when they had Stafford and Megatron.
Well, they were also good when they had Barry Sanders, too.
Yeah. But the Lions were, they were like, Stafford was like the go-to fantasy quarterback because he would pile on points.
The Jets were good when they had Namath.
Yeah.
How far back do we want to go?
Yeah, but we're talking recent history with the Lions.
Yeah. I feel like even with Stafford and Megatron, though, did they make the playoffs? I don't even think they made it because Green Bay was always
they had
one up at them.
Yeah, because Green Bay was so good.
And Chicago hasn't been relevant for a while.
No,
but I would say between Detroit and Jets fans, I think I have a worse opinion of Jets fans than I do Lions fans just because of proximity.
Yeah,
I probably know more Jets fans than I do Lions fans.
Yeah,
something like the running joke was that Jets and Mets fans, and it was always the Giants and the Yankees fans for New York.
It was Jets, Mets, Islanders.
Yes.
Yankees, Giants, Rangers.
Yes, that was always the trifectas.
Yeah.
I always feel bad for Jets fans, just because they just haven't been good.
Yeah.
And what were their best years? The best recent years, besides the Sanchez years, which I don't think anyone's really happy about those years. But the Kenny O'Brien years.
Well,
I remember that though.
And then who was that quarterback they had? That he was drafted the same year as Brady. Chad Pennington.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Those weren't bad years for them. Probably made a playoff or two.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his arm was like a wet noodle.
Right. And then they had Brett Favre. Like
Brett Favre.
And then he was sending dick pics to some intern.
Yes.
Well, all high on pain pills.
Right.
And now
hey,
he's selling.
Baby, look at this. Hey, what, your wrinkly balls?
Your old balls. But
why does Grandpa even know how to send dick pics at that point? Just take his phone away.
Well, now he's selling that Tommy Copper stuff.
He is.
Because you're broke.
Right. Like, look, why don't we just go to the well and just do an advertisement for Advil?
Yeah.
You were addicted to them. They must do something for you.
Right. Yeah.
Not trying to knock pain pill addiction if you're out there. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah, don't be offended. Everyone's too sensitive.
That's right. Who haven't we hit on yet?
So did we do the NFC?
I don't even think we really hit. We touched on like Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Cardinals, the Packers. No one. I don't think there's any big surprises there.
So let me ask you something, because everyone loves to give Minnesota junk.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins is awful. He was down here with the Washington football team and all that good stuff, and goes up there, became the highest paid quarterback. I feel like they're always like that 8-8, 9-7 team.
Yeah.
They either barely make the playoffs or barely don't make the playoffs. Like, they're that team that's like, it's like you just never know what to make of them. And I feel like they got Dalvin Cook, Jordan Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and maybe it is Kirk Cousins holding that team back.
I don't know. Well,
I don't know.
Albert Hainsworth said the best way to make money in the NFL is to be a mediocre quarterback.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if he's the problem, though.
I don't know.
Like, would they be that much better without him? I mean, his stats aren't that bad.
Yeah. See, and that team, like, they had Adrian Peterson who's back now. But they had Adrian Peterson. I remember when they had Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
And then
Dante Culpepper.
Yep. But then they also had Brett Favre.
Yes, they did.
So yeah, they don't surprise me at being 5-5 because I never really thought a whole bunch of them anyway. Let's see. The NFC East is kind of just.
Besides Dallas, is anyone coming out of that division?
No. I was really hoping that Fitzmagic would last longer than he did.
Me too.
He got hurt game 1.
Right? It's like, come on, man.
First snap.
It's like, bro, you might be able to still throw it, but You can't stand on the field for more than 10 minutes without getting hurt anymore.
Right.
All right. Career over.
Because of the stuff he was doing, like in Tampa Bay, he's just a funny guy. Like when him and Deshaun Jackson, like he wore Deshaun Jackson's clothes to the press conference. Right. That was funny. The Eagles, they're only in second because the other two teams are so bad. They wouldn't be in second place in any other division or any other conference. Like they're bad.
I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, though, I think they finally have to draft the next quarterback.
Yeah.
And just have to realize Jalen Hurts isn't it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They had Nick Foles twice. Nick Foles was a rookie with them, and then they let him go. And then who was that coach from Oregon they had?
Oh, what was that guy? Chip, I can't remember. It was Chip something.
Yeah. And he made those weird trades. Mm-hmm. Like he traded away Shady for some linebacker.
Like a bag of peanuts or something. Was it Kiki Alonso?
Yeah.
No. Was that the trade? I don't remember. It's
to the Bills.
Yeah. All right. I don't know who he got.
Yeah.
But he got like nothing back for him.
Yeah.
It was like Shady McCoy in his prime.
Yeah.
We don't need him.
It'd be like if the Titans traded Henry to.
Yeah. Well, he thought his scheme was going to win.
He was so arrogant. He thought that high tempo. But the NFL defense, see, and that's the thing, like, you get these big name college coaches that come to the NFL and don't do well.
Yep.
Like Saban didn't last.
Nope.
Spurrier, the old ball coach.
Nope.
Didn't last.
Nope.
So they come up, they don't do well because I think they underestimate. They come in with arrogance, and coaching professionals is different than coaching college kids. And then they like the defensive coordinators, like they sniffed out that what was his name? Whatever.
It was definitely Chip something.
Yeah. They sniffed out that dude. They had him sniffed out real quick.
Yeah. And then the speed is different.
Yeah.
The athletes on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL can run that 4-4.
Right.
Which is what the guys on the offensive side of the ball are running too.
Yeah.
Well, in college, they ain't the same.
Well, I think that the thing is when you come to the NFL, like a defensive end in the NFL has the speed of a linebacker in college. So, when you see them run those stupid reverses and sweep plays and stuff like that around the edge, in college you get big yards off that. In the NFL, a lot of times you're lucky you make it back to the line of scrimmage. So the schemes are complicated. The athletes are incredible. I was watching college football with the boys the other day. I forget who it was. The score was like 69-9. I'm like, I'm not that big into college football.
It's track meet at that point.
I'm not into it. And they have their ticky-tack pass interference spot plays, and I just penalties. I'm not that sold on college football. I know some people are super it's better than professional. No, it's not. College football is not better than the NFL.
I dig some of the atmosphere, though. By the way, the guy's name's Chip Kelly.
Okay.
So I definitely dig, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I kind of grew up watching some of it. But it was like the old Notre Dame games at Notre Dame on the grass field.
Yeah.
Those close encounter type stadiums. The Michigan-Ohio State games. Mm-hmm. Back when they were played on the... I don't know what it was about the grass field in the fall. And just something about the atmosphere for me made it more fun to watch. It's kind of like for me, like playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Playoff hockey for me, the atmosphere is amazing. Mm-hmm. Regular season hockey,
yeah,
it's all right. People, I think the difference, people get into college football because a lot of them went to that school.
Yeah.
So they're connected to it. It's not like the pros. The pros, people are connected to sometimes they're connected to the cities. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of gotten further and further away from that because back in the day, it was like the people that played for that team in the city lived in the city.
Yeah. Worked in the city.
Yeah. And so people kind of got connected to it that way. And that's why I think it's so hard right now for a new sports league to come out and try and get that fan loyalty.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Seattle did a good job with the MLS team out there.
Yeah. Well, even the DC United has a good, but I think DC is an interesting place because there are so many people from other places here and from across economic spectrums. So you have like super wealthy people from the Middle East, from Europe, from different places that live in this area, and then you also have a lot of poor people from South and Central America that live here and really drives that team. So MLS, I think, is doing. They've actually surprised me. I thought they wouldn't have lasted this long.
Yeah. You got to be willing to take at least 20 years of losses.
Yeah.
If you're going to start a new league.
But like Major League Lacrosse or whatever they call that? Like that
failed for a number of reasons. Major League. I mean, it might even still be some iteration of it might be around. But then like one of the players, one of the most popular player in the world, decided to create his own league.
Right.
And that pulled a lot of people away. And if you're not going to have the best athletes, then look, as a former lacrosse player, I don't really know if the sport translates into a spectator sport, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's one of those where, plus it's such a regional thing. It's really a Northeast United States thing.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that the game can slow down.
Yeah.
Where people are just throwing the ball around to substitute and whatnot. Like there's certain times when there's a slowdown on purpose to do certain things.
Yeah.
And it gets a little boring.
Yeah. No, I think box lacrosse is awesome.
Yeah.
That is it's hockey in the air.
It's all. I mean, it's hockey.
It's air hockey.
It's
sky hockey.
It was hockey for the Canadians who didn't want to skate.
Yeah.
You know,
or something to do on ice rinks that they couldn't in the summertime for the 6 weeks of summer they have. But
football, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about football.
Yeah. Again, we meander. So I wonder, but had the Eagles kept Nick Foles? Because he won them a Super Bowl.
So was it you I was talking about this about keeping Nick Foles?
Mm-hmm.
Nick Foles and on all the other teams might be garbage, but Nick Foles and Todd Peterson's system won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Why they? I mean, I get it. Carson Wentz was a number one pick.
Yeah.
But if you had a formula that worked to win you the Super Bowl and the goal is to win a Super Bowl,
why would you change it?
Why?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why not trade Wentz when his value was probably higher then than it was when they traded him?
Yeah.
Why not trade him, keep Foles, who seemed to be loved in the locker room, loved in the city, roll your dice with him?
Yeah.
I mean, think about the window to win a Super Bowl is what, 2 to 3 years anyway?
Yeah.
So you won a Super Bowl. You got 2 more years of a window. Keep the guy who won it for you, and drop the guy who's always hurt.
Yeah.
That move never made any sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Patriots dynasty is really just an anomaly.
Oh, by far.
So that just doesn't. I mean, that's not. I mean, it happens in baseball. But even baseball had a lot more, had different champions for...
The Yankees were up there for a while, though, in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Now, never mind my parents. Like, my dad's lifetime, they were, like, every year.
Yeah.
But even in ours, like, from, I'd say, 96, 97? To, probably, like, mid to late 2000s.
Yeah, when Derek Jeter came in.
Yeah.
It's essentially the Derek Jeter years.
Yeah.
And then he left. It kind of went down, but now they're coming back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I never understood why they just shit on Nick Foles again.
Yeah, I don't get that. Maybe a Philly fan can let us know.
Yeah, I don't know. But if Philly fans are sophisticated enough for technology.
They don't even know this. They're not listening because they don't know how to get on the podcast platforms. All the platforms. They're at the alien conference.
Yeah, aliens. Yeah. But yeah, I think that wraps up the because I think we touched on everything else in the NFC East. We just kind of the NFC. We just kind of missed the NFC East, which for us is
garbage show.
I mean, yeah, the NFC least.
It's Dallas and everybody else, and I hate Dallas anyway.
Right.
I'm not wasting time on
It's
that.
funny though. I don't have any skin in the game. Like I don't. I'm indifferent towards Dallas.
Why do I don't like Dallas? Because I don't like Dallas fans. They're so adamant that Dallas is so great.
Right.
Why? Because you had 3 years with Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith,
And an amazing offensive
and Michael
line.
Irvin, and an offense. Yeah,
You and I could have played quarterback, and you could have played running back behind that offensive line.
I was fast back in the day.
And those dudes get zero credit. That team was that offensive line.
Who what was the guard? Larry Allen? Nate Allen? What was the guy's name?
I think it was Allen.
He ended up getting caught with like
Cocaine.
800 pounds of weed in a van.
Yeah. And then there's another one was like blowing like eight balls off a stripper's butthole. Like
That's why they were good. Listen, you lose that edge, you're not good anymore.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Listen, nobody likes how the sausage is made, right?
Yeah.
But look, if Nate Allen or whatever that guy's name was so awesome on Sundays because he was snorting blow on Saturdays, snort away, my friend. Get all that blow you can.
Yeah. But this, and then the thing with, it's funny though, with the league being so kind of just blah, it's kind of translated, like my fantasy league is also blah.
Yeah, mine too.
I think when I just check the standings, they'll change after today, but I mean, 5 of the 10 teams in my fantasy league are in first or second place.
Yep.
And I think the last place team is at 4 and something. Like they pretty much, if the first place team drops theirs, it's just going to reverse.
Yeah.
So,
we were talking about the same thing in my league, where it's the last place team and the first place team. There's only 4 games separating.
yeah.
That's 4 weeks, and it could flip.
Yep. And I'm sitting at soon. I think I'm going to be 7-4, in mine, which my team is. I have Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. McLaurin from the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot team is been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Eckler's killing it. Tyreek Hill. But see, when I drafted it,
Yep.
I didn't have any draft formula. All I did was I drafted the best available player for the position I was trying to fill. That's all I did. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to go grab this guy, which I tried to do last year and tanked. I went out and grabbed Lamar Jackson early, and he didn't do much for me. And then the year before, I did my best available player, and I won that league. So, the people make all these rankings, and then I'm just some schlub like, oh, I know better than they do. I don't. So,
Yeah, I feel like and this is like with everything in life. You need a little bit of luck with fantasy football.
yeah,
But for example, like I picked up Hunter Renfrow off the waiver wire on like week 2.
yeah,
Nobody wanted him, but then I realized I'm in a PPR league. The dude catches like 6-7 balls a game. That's 6-7 points per week.
Right.
That's his floor.
yeah,
If he gets a touchdown, now he's in the teens. For a wide receiver to get in that middle, like low teens,
yeah,
it's not bad.
yeah,
So to pick him up off the waiver wire of all things, and at least he's consistent. Like this last week, he only got 7 points, but that's consistent. Like for example, DK Metcalf 7 points. Now I had Deebo Samuel. Now Deebo Samuel had a rushing TD, 1 reception, 15 points though.
Yeah.
For Deebo Samuel. Now Deebo Samuel is one of the highest scoring wide receivers in the league. So for Renfrow, the guy I picked up off waivers to get me 7,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but that was luck, right? I mean,
Yep.
who would have thought picking up a guy off the waiver wire? Now he's in my starting lineup. That takes some luck there because I whiffed on Kenny Galladay. I still have that guy.
yeah,
I didn't think the Giants would be this fucking bad. I thought Galladay coming from the line. I should have known better because he was coming from the Lions, which is another team that sucked ass. Going to the Giants, a team that sucked ass. I should have just left that alone. But a guy like Chase Claypool, like I thought he would be much better than he is. Now, granted, he got 14 points this week, which is great. But the dude is so inconsistent. I can't start him.
yeah,
You definitely need to get a little bit lucky with fantasy football. I always say like the first 2 to 3 rounds easiest rounds in the whole draft.
Yeah.
The hard work comes like round 4 and beyond, because now you're trying to pick up. That's when you need some of that luck to kick in.
Yeah, and those rounds are what wins you win games for you. I really lucked out with McLaurin.
Yep.
I picked him late in the draft, and the dude's doing now. He's rostered 98.6%, so it's
he was a good pickup in the beginning.
Yeah,
a lot of people drafted him. I think more people had faith that he would get points with Fitzmagic as the quarterback.
Yeah,
though.
But the first game he played with Fitzmagic, he got 10. Mm-hmm. The very next game, he got 29. Now it was against the Giants.
Right. That was when the Giants couldn't do shit.
But I mean, he against Atlanta, he got 32. Green Bay 27. So like he's doing well. Like he's a good start.
Yeah.
Aaron Eckler's been really good, but Austin Eckler rather.
He's always good in the PPR league because he catches so many balls out of the backfield.
Yep.
If you're in a PPR league, he's definitely a first three round pick.
Oh yeah, PPY? No. Yeah. So like this week he had 50 yards.
Yeah.
But 4 touchdowns. So
how many balls did he catch?
Let's see.
He probably caught 6 balls, I bet.
Let's see. I'm not sure if it's going to tell me. Receiving. Here we go. This past week against Pittsburgh, 6. Yeah. Against Dallas, 9.
So here's the thing. For that guy, his floor every week is probably about 6, just because he point in those PPR leagues, point per reception leagues.
Yeah.
You get 1 point per reception.
Mm-hmm.
If he's catching 6 balls a week, his floor is 6.
Yeah.
Any yards and touchdowns on top of that,
just cheddar.
Gravy.
Yep.
That's all it is. That's why dudes like him, or if you can pick him up, like the biggest pickup of the year, in my opinion, is Cordarrelle Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
That dude. So before this year, he was always a wide receiver. He was always listed as a wide receiver. Atlanta started playing him at running back, but they also flex him out and play him as a wide receiver. So now he's getting rush yards and receiving yards and receptions. The guy's like a human Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
So you can take him as a running back now, put him in your running back slot, and you basically just add another wide receiver. In a PPR league, that's huge.
Yeah, yeah, because that's I have him as a running back, of course here. So
who's that? Eckler?
Eckler. Oh. Yeah, I took Tyreek Hill first. He's been okay. Lockett's kind of been a bust, but the Seahawks are terrible. So
that whole time when Russell Wilson was out, because I got DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Now, luckily, he did well when Geno was in. One of the reasons why I took DK over Lockett was, and I actually watched something with Matthew Berry on ESPN, and he compared the two because he was like, which one do you take? Because they'll generally end up with the same amount of points at the end of the season. But he basically said DK had the more consistent numbers, whereas Tyler Lockett had like boom or bust numbers.
Yeah.
So like 1 week he might have 17, but the next week he'll only have 2. Whereas DK would be right in that sweet spot, and he'd have like a boom, like 2 or 3 weeks of boom, but his floor would be at like that 5, 6, 7 number.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had let's see, I guess my bust I didn't start. Brandon was Ayuk. From
San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't start him, and I should have, but I won anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if I lose a fantasy game, a fantasy week, I get pissed off if I lose. But when I really get pissed off is when I had points on the bench that would have won. That's when I'm like, oh. So, and this lineup, I said it, like I completely forgot about it. I went to see my college buddy's kids hockey game they live in Frederick, but they were playing Navy, so I went to the rink down here, and I'm driving back. It's like 12:55. I'm like, oh crap! I pulled over to the side of the road, and I have 2 of my kids be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Hold on, stop talking."
Right.
But yeah, so. That's my fantasy team.
So we also do FanDuel, which I like FanDuel personally, just because every week you're picking a new lineup.
Yeah.
But you can still do it within the concept of a league. Mm-hmm. So like we got 11 people in that league.
Is that the neighborhood one?
It's got people from neighborhood and one guy outside the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just it was a buddy of mine who we had him join the league, so we had enough to run the first year. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, I'm not gonna
kick him out.
I'm not gonna kick him out.
Right.
And so plus he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So like he's the one guy who's not in the neighborhood who's in the league.
And I'm the one guy who's in the neighborhood who's not in the league.
Right. You were in the league.
I was. I stunk it up because it's and here's the thing. That year that I was in the league, I had 3 fantasy teams. Mm-hmm. And that was like, okay, this is too much. And then my wife had 2. And she's like, who should I start? Should I start T. Brady or should I start D. Breeze? I'm like, you do know it's Tom Brady, right? And Drew Brees. Like, please.
Only 2 of the biggest stars in the league. So it's funny. So my wife also does fantasy football. And so this is her first year doing FanDuel. Mm-hmm. She did our old neighborhood league. But so she got in the FanDuel because we weren't doing the neighborhood league. And up until this week, she was actually beating me. She was actually winning. She was almost, I think she's in second place.
Well, she did good when she was in the neighborhood league. Yeah. I might bring the neighborhood league back next year. That was fun.
It was. The draft was always fun because everyone talked shit.
Yeah. It just, I had too much going on.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I just get around to doing it.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I like FanDuel though is because you don't. Let's say you draft, right? Normal fantasy league, you draft. If someone gets hurt, you got to put them on IR or you got to drop them or whatever it is. Find someone off the waiver wire. With FanDuel, the thing that I like is every week you get your $60,000 allotment, and you fill your lineup.
Yeah.
And the next week you do it all over again.
Yeah.
There's no continuation with it.
Yep.
But
it's like the casual sex of fantasy,
more or less. But the good thing with this is, and what they allow you to do is they allow you to set up a league. Mm. So we've got it set up where you pay one entry fee. It's $50 for the whole year, just like it is for normal fantasy football. Yeah. You pay your entry fee up front. But with the way this works is every week you set your lineup. The winner gets $14.50. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, the top 3 cash out also.
Okay.
But the good thing, so like right now, because you're picking every week, the person at the bottom, like number 11 right now, or number 10 or 11 in the league, isn't out of it. Mm-hmm. Like they can still get in the top 3. I think only 100 points separates 1 from 10.
Yeah.
And 100 points in FanDuel is nothing. You can make that up in 2 weeks.
Right.
Which for me, I mean, I really like that aspect of it because it keeps everyone involved throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, because when I've had fantasy teams where I end up like, I'm at 2 and 7. I'm like, okay, I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I'm done. And then you have this where but what also on the flip side of that is when you're good, you're battling for that top spot, and you're playing I'm playing a guy who's like still into it, and you're playing the dude who's 2 and 7 and is still starting.
He's got 2
magic as the
starting 2 guys on a bye.
Yeah,
yeah,
and then you're like, and I get it. Like if you forget, like I forgot. Oh crap! I forgot my, or you only drafted 1 kicker and it's a bye, so you just go without the kicker. That's not it. But what sucks is when it's that dude who's just done,
right,
and is not doing it at all. You're like, crap, I have to play someone that's still doing this seriously, and you get to play nobody. So
some leagues put a poison pill in where so everyone's got to pay their dues up front. Mm-hmm. And the guy who comes in dead last has to put in it's like a penalty fee.
Yeah.
It's like a $50, so let's say everyone puts in $50 in the beginning of the year. If you come in dead last, you have to put in another $50.
Right, so it keeps you from not wanting to finish dead last.
Right.
Yeah.
But so basically what it keeps it makes sure that guy will still keep putting in his lineup, so he doesn't have to put in the other $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some things that don't, I see what happens. I mean, you see that happen all the time, where like someone just like stops playing for the last 3 weeks, and like if you need that person to be playing to knock off the guy that you're trying to knock out of the playoffs, it's like, come on, man, like you signed up to do this,
right? You're calling that dude up like, can you just try this?
Right. Give me your password, I'll do it for you. But I mean, the other, if you've been in a league that's been around long enough, though, people automatically do that because the next year, if they're in it, they don't want you to be the one that says, "Oh, remember how you screwed me last year?
Yeah,
all my guys are on the bench today."
Right.
It's like,
and that's and the league I'm in now is pretty good. It's funny, I only know I know two of the people in it. And one of those two I haven't seen in probably 10 years.
Right.
The other guys, I have no idea who they are. But, so I want to bring up one more gripe while I'm here. And this is back to regular NFL, and it's the taunting penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Which you see the taunt, like you'll see a flag come out of nowhere. You're like, what is this? Like nothing happened, and it's taunting.
Well, you know the big one, right? The one that happened like 2 weeks ago. On the Chicago Bears kid?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this kid signed off the practice squad. Chicago Bears are they're in it. Sacks the quarterback. Gets up and kind of like takes like a couple crow hops to the hash mark where the other team is.
Yeah.
And I think it's the Steelers. Mm-hmm. Who happened to cut the guy.
Yeah.
So he's like, not that he said anything, but he's like, yeah. He's
right.
Like, revenge for him, right? Whatever it is. He turns around. Like he didn't even go. He didn't go to the sideline. He was just like flexing, whatever. Mm-hmm. Spins around, goes back to the Bears sideline because I think that was fourth down or whatever.
Yeah.
No, sorry, it was third down. Steelers are gonna punt. Ref throws a taunting flag on him. And then also hip checks him. Mm-hmm. Like it was like a weird thing. The guy's last name was Marsh from the Bears. It was like the talk of like the next week of the NFL.
But here's the thing. So let's not make it some dude that just signed for the practice squad that was cut from that team.
Yeah.
And it's J.J. Watt that does that.
Okay.
Is there any taunting flag thrown? No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Because you see some of these sack dances that people do. And I hate celebration. So here comes my get off my lawn moment. I played football. The team I played for, like, if you did that crap, like you scored a touchdown, hand the ball to the referee and get back to the huddle. Act like you've been there. So now they have taunting, which I can't see when they allow certain players to do it. It's first of all, football, you almost need a law degree to decipher. Every major network now has a retired official on their crew to decipher these rules.
Yep.
So, and I've always said that of all the sports, the officials have such an influence in how these games come out. You can throw a flag on every single snap. There's always a hold. There's always something. On every pass play, there's a little bit of interference between the two of them. You can throw a flag. It just chooses, when they throw the flag, how it works out. But the taunting just adds a whole nother layer of subjectivity to it that I don't think needs to be there. But then the league, through whatever, they have this stupid camera in the end zone for them to pose and do choreographed end zone celebrations. So that's not taunting if done in the prescribed location, but what that kid Marsh did is taunting.
Right.
And how soft are they? Like, seriously. Like, oh, you want to run your mouth? Okay, I got you on the next one. And knock that dude's head off. But to have a taunting penalty, but then on the other side have the choreographed celebration where they're like bowling, doing stupid nonsense, and then just from a football mindset, like you had to think about doing that.
Right.
like you practice that, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to practice that. So that means that every offensive play is perfect. No false starts, no holding calls, no illegal formations, no fumbles, no interceptions. You did everything perfect to have enough time to do your stupid choreographed end zone dance. So, end of rant. That's my, my peeve of the league at the moment. So, can't stand it.
When did they start that camera in the end zone?
So, I remember the Eagles doing it with Wentz when they were good. So, I want to say it was probably at most 5 years ago, maybe less.
I feel like it's something that happened.
Because they used to throw a flag for excessive celebration. But now they have the effing camera to excessively celebrate, but they added the taunting flag.
Yeah, I thought, for some reason, I thought it started last year. That end zone camera thing.
Yeah, but last year was all COVID year.
Or maybe the year before that. Because I remember like someone got an interception. And then he was doing like the windmill thing, like the come on windmill thing.
Yeah.
And they went to the end zone. And there was like I didn't really realize what was going on. Because I had never seen it before. No one ever said it was happening.
Yeah.
And then I see like all the teams do it now.
Yeah,
like, especially the defensive side. Like if there's an interception.
Oh, they all run down
or fumble recovery.
Yeah.
Like there was one dude, they intercepted it. And he went, like, I guess the camera's only in one end zone. They literally went 80 yards after the play was dead to go do some stupid stuff, but the camera's like, come on. Like, who's going to run 80 yards to just pose in front of a camera for 5 seconds?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, like, there was some of the stuff that, like Chad Johnson was doing, and, like, with,
I thought those were great, though.
What's his name? Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Like, pulling out a cell phone and, like, signs the ball, like, just pulls a Sharpie out of his sock. Like, that's individual stuff. But the whole team doing it like, they can't dunk the ball over the goalpost like it's a basketball.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But you can come down and pretend you're catching a fish, and the guy's gonna flop around in the end zone like he's a fish.
Yeah, I think I think some of them are really funny. I think some of them are really entertaining, but I also think some of them are really stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh. But look, again, if you don't try, how are you going to hit gold, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that and I remember one time, like, the celebrations were, encouraged by the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And now, for whatever reason, this season, taunting was an emphasis point.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, who was, it's almost like creating a problem when there isn't one.
Right.
Like, who was complaining about this? Like, for the most part, it's kind of like, other than like that camera thing after the interceptions and whatnot, like that kind of lost its like. And when it first started, it was pretty fun, but then after a while, it's like, okay, 15 dudes run over to camera, everyone poses for a selfie.
You're down by 30 points.
Yeah, right. All right, we get it. It is what it is. But like the end zone ones, I thought some of them were pretty cool, especially when they first said it was okay to do it. Mm-hmm. Some of the choreographed ones I thought were really cool. Like they were really like some were really funny and well thought out. But then and I don't know why they did this. All of a sudden they were like, no, we don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
Like it went back to being the no fun league. And it's like, I wonder what happened. Because you don't just decide that it has to go away all of a sudden, unless they did.
Well, yeah. But who knows what Goodell decided?
I feel like it was just like some arbitrary decision. It was like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. Yeah. We tried it. People liked it, and we don't want to give them what they like.
Except
anymore.
me, I hate it because I'm a curmudgeon.
You didn't think like some of those other ones?
No,
like, look, I'm a curmudgeon. I thought
no, I don't, because you're not. If you have time to do that, you better be absolutely perfect on everything else, because you're wasting your time. If that were my high school football coach, run, like, okay, wow. Run.
But there's a difference between pros is for entertainment, college and high school is not
to get to the pros,
right? to be
But
disciplined.
the whole thing is, but I don't like excessive celebrations in any sport. So like in baseball, when they do the little skip or whatever, when they hit third
the baseball
base.
ones are the worst.
And then now I don't mind bat flips. I don't mind the chain pop. I'm cool with all that. But once you hit first base, just jog around the bases and come home. Don't do your little stupid whatever at third base. Now they're all doing it.
The spin.
Yeah. Hockey celebrations are pretty quick. So they don't bother me.
It's kind of hard to dance when you're on ice skates.
Yeah. Now, so like Timu Solani, when he threw his glove in the air and like shot it out of the air like it was a duck, that was pretty cool. But basketball is just, I don't even watch basketball, so I can't comment.
I don't either.
So yeah, but the excessive stuff, like my whole thing is act like you've been there. You know what I mean? Act like you've done this before.
Right.
And when you're running around dancing, like, in your choreographed whatever act, you're not acting like you've been there.
Right.
Because my thing is, let's get this ball back and let's do this again. That's the celebration I'd like to see. Score another one.
With basketball, I never understood why people get so jacked up over a dunk. Like, if I'm 6'7", dunking on a 9-foot hoop, or is it a 10-foot hoop?
It's 10, yeah.
Probably isn't that big of a deal.
I'd be more impressed if, like, a 10-year-old did it.
Yeah. And plus, it's not like... Remember when, like, the big thing was when Jordan took off from the foul line?
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You dunking from the 3-second circle isn't impressive.
Right.
You climbing some European white dude isn't impressive.
Yeah.
I agree. Because he doesn't jump.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, oh, he dunked over 7'7" George Mirasan. You mean George the statue?
Yeah.
Like, my man didn't. He couldn't jump. Like, George dunked when he just put his hand above his head.
Yeah, that was just like him reaching for something on top of the counter, like on top of the cupboard.
Like, I remember when George would dunk. I don't know why I remember George Mirasan, but probably because George Mirasan was a Washington Bullet.
Yeah.
When I was here.
Yeah.
And I went and saw a Bullets game one time when I was a kid. I think it was either him or Manute Bol. I forgot which one I saw. But they were both so tall, like, their jumping ability was almost non-existent.
Right, they have like a 6-inch vertical.
So, like, they would do this little bunny hop and dunk it. I was like, was the bunny hop necessary?
You're already there.
You're right. It's like you're pretty much licking the rim. Right. I think you could have just dropped it in, bud. But then, but nowadays, like, these 6'10" dudes or 6'7" to 6'10", they're dunking, they're running away from the hoop screaming like they just won the Super Bowl. It's like, yeah.
Meanwhile, the NBA scores are like 135 to 128. Like,
right. And we're jacked up over every dunk.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But they, I remember, so George Mirasan, remember when the Michael Jordan cologne came out?
Oh,
so
God.
SNL did a commercial with George Mirasan, and they're like, and he was called, because Jordan's was called Michael, I think, and his was called George, and they're like, somebody goes, what is that smell? And he goes, onions.
I remember.
Like, he wasn't a host. It was like one of those commercials they do. What is that smell? Onions.
Now that you brought that up, I had completely forgot about that. I remember watching that episode. I was crying.
Yeah, so
That's how funny it was at that one part of it. Oh my! I need to go look it up on YouTube. Well, this actually ran long. This episode ran like. This is almost the longest, not the longest one we ever had, but
yeah,
it went pretty long. So I hope we had fun with this NFL-themed episode, and hopefully we'll do a couple more, probably another month or so after the playoffs start shaking out. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and we're gonna do another call to action. If you can, share this with one friend. Maybe share it on your Facebook page, your Twitter, your Instagram, wherever you guys are. We do have a Facebook page. Just look up Dumb Idea Podcast. If you just want to share the Facebook page, or if you want to share the website, dumbideapodcast.com/subscribe. We are on all the major platforms. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.